For sure. The visual doesn't override the feeling. What happens is the visual gives them a chance to reset the feeling. Have you heard there's a rule of thumb that says your first impression is the most important impression? That's not the truth. Cognitively speaking, what we say at CIA is your last impression is the impression that lasts.
Oh.
Because what really matters is what people think when they leave you, not when they meet you. Because when they meet you, you always have a second chance and a third chance and a fourth chance. Literally in a conversation, I might have 90 seconds of conversation with you. Every one of those 90 seconds is a new impression. So does the first 5 seconds matter as much as the last 5 seconds? Not really. If I leave you with a smile on your face, you're going to forget how awkward I was when I first said hello.
That's so funny. I went to film school. It's the same thing in film school. They teach you, they're like, no matter what, don't mess up the ending. It's like, no matter how good the TV show is, no matter how good the movie is, if you mess up the ending, you're done for.
Yep.
Or the opposite, if you screw up the whole movie, but the last part, the ending's so amazing, people actually forgive you for screwing up the movie. Fascinating.
There's a reason for that, right? There's a reason that's what Hollywood teaches. So let's go back to, we're in line at a coffee shop behind our North Korean Target. I'm wearing a Taylor Swift shirt. I walk into her presence. I turn on red on my phone on speaker. What is she going to do? Naturally, what would anybody do when they hear music coming out of a phone? They look around to see who's the asshole with the music on the phone.
That's true.
She looks around. She looks at me. She sees my shirt. Chances are she's going to react. Smile, laugh, do something. Regardless, I don't care what her reaction is. I'm just looking for the moment when she looks at me. Because now when she looks at me, I can use that as an introduction. I can use that as what we call a window to start a conversation. So she looks at my shirt, even just for a half a second, right? And I know she's a Taylor Swift fan because that's what my profiler told me. In this case, my wife is a targeter, so she would have told me that. So she looks at my shirt and she looks away right away. And then I go up to her and I'm like, you're a Taylor Swift fan too, huh? Are you a Swiftie in hiding? More noradrenaline, more dopamine. And she's probably gonna turn around and be like, I am. Like, did you see her in concert? Have you done this? Have you done that? Again, we don't have to be shooting for seduction. We're shooting for a hormonal release. We've gotten that going. Now all I need to do is build the emotional appeal, right? The emotional appeal is the persuasion, right? Persuasion is an emotional process. Influence is a logical process.
Oh, yeah.
What that means is when you sit with your dentist and your dentist has good bedside manner and they make you feel safe and they make you feel comfortable, those are emotions. Then when you leave your dentist and you go back home and your dentist isn't there with you anymore, but you refer someone to your dentist, that's influence. You need to have persuasion before you have influence, meaning you have to have emotion before you have logic. So a lot of times people get the two terms confused. They think influence is something that's emotional. They think persuasion is something that's rational. It's not. Persuasion is emotional, influence is rational. So the first thing I do is build an emotional, persuasive appeal to our Swiftie North Korean target, right? Oh yeah, I'm actually still new to being a fan, but my daughter is a massive fan, right? Why am I talking about my daughter? Because I'm obviously 44 years old. I'm much older than she is, right? I gotta call attention to it right away or else she's gonna feel like some old man might be hitting on her.
Oh, that's so true.
So I have to state my backstory in a way to keep the threat indicator from turning on. I have to keep myself in the non-threat space if I ever plan to build an emotional appeal with this person.